Don't stop talking, don't stop sharing, don't stop laughing, don't stop caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop.
Oh, yeah, that's right, and I got my voice. It's hard to believe a few weeks ago I didn't have one, isn't it? I was still chirping it out, wasn't I? That sounded like a car that had a loose bearing or something. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Anyways, we're here this morning. Another day. Probably not another dollar, but another day. That's right. That's what we've got going on here. Hope y'all are well. Hope you all are. Yesterday, I am tired of this wind. The weather wouldn't be so bad if we could get rid of some of this wind out there. Do you concur? Do you concur, Watson? Yes, I do. So, anyways, we got to check a little bit on the weather. We've got, of course, a little bit of update on what is happening over there in Iran this morning. You know what I find interesting about the news is sometimes I kind of feel like the news is coordinated. I mean, for weeks, well, 3 weeks anyways, Nancy Guthrie was the story, and it was pounding into us every day. Now, there were thousands of other stories out there, and I'm not trying to take away from Nancy Guthrie or the Gut Wrench or any of that, but that was the only story. Okay, fast forward. They kind of put that side on the side because, well, I guess people feel who knows when it'll be solved. And there are still updates, but they're not taking center stage. And update now we have the Iran war, the invasion of Iran, how this country's feeling, what's happening, and of course it's a big story. But you know what happens in the news, and when I tried to think back, I was thinking about this last night, when Walter Cronkite said, and that's the way it was. Did we have such unbalanced coverage at that time? I think they still covered a lot of stories. I'm not sure because I was young, but I just think that we had more balance maybe. But now it's all about, and then, of course, there's the Austin shooter. He had to get in there and take a little of the air. But all the other stories that were kind of out there, they all dropped to the bottom. So, the only way a story ends up being a big story if it's something outrageous that happens. And yet, every day in our lives, there are small stories that happen in our community, in our state. But it seems like the only ones that get the energy are the big stories. And then everybody jumps on the big stories. So I try to concentrate on some of the others because I know I can't compete with national media. Anyways, that was just a thought process I was having. And we are going to we're going to look at the weather right now. 47 degrees, feels like 45. We are looking for a high of 60 today. High temperature will be the same as yesterday's. Well, if we don't have the wind, it would be great. All right, we've got tonight will be a low of 45. Tomorrow on Wednesday, though, 76 degrees. And a low of 53, partly sunny skies. Thursday comes in about the same, except it amps up to 79 degrees. And Friday is a high of 82 and a low of 60. Saturday, a high of 80, low of 62. All of these with partly sunny skies. Sunday, high of 80. Okay, Monday, a high of 79, low of 60. Then we go into the mid-80s the following week. Then we drop down by the end of the week back down into the 60s. So there you go. that's what we're off to the races with as far as the weather. Looks like we're not really going to have that much rain. Looks like maybe on the 12th they're saying about a 60% chance of some rain. Other than that, we're looking pretty good as far as the weather. Everybody's going to go out and start planting stuff. I was over at Lowe's the other day. Lady had a big cart of pansies and flowers and all this kind of stuff. I said, you think these all are going to make it? She looked quite seriously at me and said, no. I'm still planting them, though. I guess because hope lives eternal. Hope lives eternal. I don't think Penny's feeling very well this morning. Anyways, that is just some of the thoughts that go through my random mind. I didn't even try to get up for the lunar eclipse this morning. Actually, I woke up and I laid there and I said, I live in a bomb shelter, so you can't see anything out there. And so I laid there for a few minutes and I said, I'm not going to get up. I just went outside. Did anybody get to see the lunar eclipse? Did it show or something? It looks like it was pretty cloudy out there. Looks like it was pretty cloudy. So just curious if you actually saw anything with the lunar eclipse. Supposed to have gone on from 6 to 7 o'clock this morning. And I believe, if I read, there's not going to be another one until 2028. So, if you missed it, sorry, you missed it. And I don't even know if you could have seen it. All right, let's talk about some other stories that I have out here for you. I want to know why. Japan has this cool little motorhome that is just so cute that you cannot get here in the United States. What's the deal? What is the deal? All right, nobody's going to answer me. I guess I'll have to go to Japan if I want to get it. That'll add a lot to the cost. I don't even know if you can bring it back in here. I was looking. I have some thought process. I'm not really going to talk about it, but I have some process of something I'm thinking about. And it's called JP Star Happy. Star Happy is the company. And they've got this really cute little motorhome that just looks like, kind of like, although not really, like a box truck. Small, very small. Supposedly will fit in a standard size parking place, but has all this room in the side. And you look at the video and everything, you go, yeah, that's pretty cool. That could be something I would like. But anyways, not going to get that either. All right. All right. What are we talking about today? In seriousness, what are we talking about today? Well, let's check and just get ourselves an update as to what is happening in Iran. I saw where they have gotten rid of, 11 of the ships that Iran had. So I guess that they really are a nation without any boats. They're not going to be going anywhere. But the conflict is escalating across the whole Middle East. The war that began with the U.S.-Israel strikes inside Iran has expanded sharply across the region. Iran has launched missiles and drones at U.S. bases and allied countries, including Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states. Iran struck the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, prompting evacuation orders for American diplomatic personnel from several countries across the Middle East. You know what I find is interesting? We have millions, I think this is what I heard, millions of people over there, and the U.S. is just saying, get out, get out. So far, I think, as of last night anyways, they have not authorized any special evacuations for people. They're simply telling them to get out. I certainly, and Rubio said, of course, that could change at any moment, but at this point, they're just telling people to get out themselves. Iran struck the U.S. Embassy, regional military involvement. Iran's attacks have hit targets in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and other Gulf states. These include missile and drone attacks on infrastructure and military sites. Qatar reports it shot down Iranian bombers and intercepted missiles, showing the broadening involvement of regional militaries. So, as could be expected, Iran is just shooting indiscriminately at other areas. One of the things that I was listening to last night that I thought that was very interesting, that you had the supreme leader, he was killed. 49 others were killed. In fact, they had to have had somebody on the inside that knew that they would all be together when they struck down, when Israel actually struck them down, that group down. So from that standpoint, that is pretty interesting. But what I wanted to say is, they say that that there's 49, and then there'll be another 49 hopefuls that will be able to take over, and then they will get killed, and another 49 until they don't have a bench that is capable of running the country. So this is what they are talking about, is that while other wannabes in the Iranian government will try to be the ones that take over, they don't actually believe they have a bench deep enough to be able to put somebody in charge. So, independent and human rights groups report hundreds of Iranian civilians killed, including women and children, as the conflict does intensify. Gulf Cooperation Council countries, UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar are condemning Iranian strikes and dealing with diplomatic ripples, including embassy closures and warnings. Here's the thing that could really affect us quite bad, is the disruption of the Strait of Hormuz and halted LNG production in Qatar are pushing up energy prices. That's one thing, of course, we don't want to see, and I believe the U.S. is still saying, no, the Strait of Hormuz, it's safe, come on through. The fighting looks set to continue for weeks, possibly longer, with U.S. leaders previously suggesting the conflict could extend based on military objectives and retaliation patterns. They were saying that they thought that several weeks. Now they are talking about longer, which every time we hear longer, we get concerned, don't we, that this is going to turn into a long-term war. The one thing I will say is that is not where President Trump is as far as long term. He is not for long term, but it's just a question of how soon that they can bring Iran to accept defeat. And the war is not localized. It's not just Iran versus the U.S. and Israel anymore. Multiple countries are affected, with missiles, drones, and defense active across the Gulf. And the question is, how much firepower does Iran have? This was one of the things they were talking about last night. They had a lot more than what they actually thought they had. I do find England's position very interesting, that they're not going to get involved. We can use their bases. I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but still, we have some of our biggest allies are not stepping up over there. And some of the allies that you wouldn't think would step up are stepping up. So, hopefully, this is something. Hopefully that Israel continues having super good intelligence as to where these Iranians are moving and going, and they can get the job done. And that our world, our world will not be so disrupted. And that the people of Iran are able to stand up and build their own life, which is, I think, the ultimate goal. The question is, can they actually do it? Is there a leader amongst them? You know, the former crown prince of Iran has said that he's willing to step in. But for him to step in, the U.S. is going to have to be a big supporter. He is not just going to be able to walk back into Iran and say, hey, guys, I'm back. It's not going to happen. So and all of that is playing out right on our TVs and internet, etc., as this people start rounding up who is going to be in charge. And then, of course, the other side of this is, what part is China going to play in this? Is China going to get involved, or are they just going to say, not my fight? I would like to think that Russia would take a look at this and say, maybe we should come to a deal with the Ukraine. Though I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I would like to see that. The very fact that we, the Americans, are willing to do what is necessary for peace would be something cool to see. All right. Well, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS. That's all I'm going to say about the international conflict right now. But again, I do think about stories that the way our media works, it's always about the big story, and so many other stories got left on the cutting room table, shall we say, if we were doing a movie. All right. Talking about doing a movie. Tomorrow, I'm going to be giving a talk at the Greenwood Women's Club, and it's been very interesting, cutting out my life and putting it into, about 20, 25-minute talk. That's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be good anyways. I hope so, and I hope the people that I am speaking to will get something out of it. You know, some piece of humor, something they didn't know. I've kind of gone back in the archives and see what I could find that maybe everybody doesn't know about me, and going to be sharing some of those things and sharing a life about empowerment, moving forward. You know, the one thing about it is I did grow up in an interesting time. I grew up in a time where women could, the 24-hour woman. Fortunately, I still believe in that. I can be the 24-hour woman. I should have used that as a mantra. Don't you remember? I can cook the bacon in a pan. Remember that commercial? I can do all this stuff. It's no problem. That is a problem, though. We as women, I don't know why I didn't use this as a topic. This is great. I don't know why, as women, we constantly think about ourselves as we can do it all. Even if we don't want to do it all, we constantly think we can do it all. Yes, I know. You don't feel good this morning, do you, Penny? I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Anyways, yes, so we constantly do everything, and we end up exhausted because we're always trying to do it all. And people don't seem to realize sometimes that anybody can do it for the short haul. It's when people expect you to do it for forever because you've done it. Well, why can't you keep doing it? I think that's one of the things that women actually suffer from, is we're exhausted because we do things in the short haul because it's necessary, never realizing that we could do it for 20 years or more until being exhausted is just a state of mind. Does anybody else feel like that? 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Just a little aside. The 24-hour woman. I am Ann Eller. I am the 24-hour woman. Interesting. Well, this is a lot of yada yada about nothing. One of the articles that I wanted to talk about is sleep shaming. It seems to be that people have gotten, this goes right into the 24-hour woman with no sleep. Now we're going into sleep shaming. How many people have been sleep shamed because either A, they refers to criticizing or mocking someone on how much or how little they sleep. That is sleep shaming. It shows up in comments like, must be nice to sleep 8 hours. You're lazy if you need that much rest. Or the flip side, you only slept 4 hours? That's not healthy. What's wrong with you? That's the one that I get. That's the one that I get all the time. It's become part of the hustle culture and productivity culture, especially online. So, on social media, sleep has become competitive. Entrepreneurs brag about only 4 hours of sleep a night. Wellness influencers promote strict 9-hour routines. Do you know, even if I go to bed early and could get, I try to get, realistically, I try to get 5.5 hours of sleep. If I'm going to bed and I can count on my fingers that I can get that much sleep, I feel pretty good. But do you know, even if I go to sleep earlier, I still wake up at the end of 5.5 hours. It's like, I got to get up. I can't sleep anymore. So I don't know whether that's my body, whether I'm just blessed or what it is. But a lot of wellness influencers promoting 9-hour routines. I would not know how to lay still for 9 straight hours. Parents compare exhaustion levels. Who's the most tired? Workers boast about grinding it out. Sleep has turned into a status symbol. Either you're disciplined and optimized or you're lazy and unmotivated. There's very little middle ground on this. And so I think it's pretty interesting that we've become obsessed with sleep. Everything from how you sleep, when you sleep, the type of sheets that are going to make a difference, the pillow that is going to make the difference. All these things have become a whole industry, and you honestly feel, if you're not subscribing to all these things about the most comfortable sheets, how it'll make you sleep better. Has anybody out there had any working with that, or have you really found that certain sheets have made a difference in your sleep? They came out with cooling sheets a few years ago, and that sheets that never get hot. Well, why do they do that? I don't know, but I do find it amazing how a whole industry has jumped up. And really, didn't it really start with what was it, the pillow, Mr. Pillow, with his perfect pillow. I don't know what's happened to him, but he's totally gone. But I think it was really that started people saying, oh, people will pay money if we tell them what they need to do to sleep. So that's kind of unique to see a whole industry sprout up on that. You've got the pure cotton sheets. You've got the this sheets. You've got the certain mattresses. You can't just have a regular old mattress. Now you have to have, let's see, what is Lars Larson promoting right now? Oh, the ghost mattress. Most comfortable sleep you'll ever have, according to him. Then there's all these different type of mattresses. What's the one that if you're snoring will automatically raise your head up so you don't bother your partner? Well, that's a good thing about being by yourself. You don't have to worry about anybody else being bothered by it. But this obsession with sleep and the quality of sleep, I just wonder, has it become a real Is it real? Are you really suffering if you don't get X amount of hours of sleep? If you get up the next morning and you're able to get up and move and you feel alive and you feel good, does that mean that you got enough sleep? Or is somebody going to tell you, oh no, you're exhaustipated, you need more sleep? I don't know. But it is to find people that are being shamed because they either got too much sleep or not enough sleep. This is the problem. Have we turned sleep into a competition? Is it actually the next Olympic sport? I've never had a sleep study done. They probably wouldn't make any money on it because I don't sleep long enough. But anyways, these sleep studies that they do to tell you, oh, yeah, you're really exhausted when you wake up in the morning. And you go to these sleep study things. Jeff went to one. And he came back. He goes, I'm exhausted. I didn't get any sleep at all that night. But it was supposed to be a sleep study. And then there's those that go to bed early, don't get 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. I cannot imagine, truthfully. I would be afraid that I was not getting all the things I could possibly get done, and I might miss something in life. I don't know why I feel that way. I do just feel that way, though. Why do quite often older people, well, I think there's two schools of thought. They either get too much sleep. Is too much sleep show that you're depressed, or you're just, when you're awake, that you're really alive? I haven't seen that so much. Like, say to somebody that's gotten 8 or 9 hours of sleep, boy, you're really up here today. Oh, yeah, I slept great last night. And then, of course, there's the whole industry of melatonin and all these products to help you sleep better. So we have really become sleep obsessed. And yet it's only one part of our lives. Important. But you miss so much when you're sleeping, as some people do. I've heard of groups where people that, because somebody was trying to do good for themselves and not engaging with the friends and everything, that all of a sudden this friend is dropped out of the group. And then when asked, why am I not included? Because all you want to do is talk about your sleep. So I think it is a subject that is good to talk about, but I also think, just like so many other things, we're all different. I also believe that you can train your body to work with more or less sleep. And if you get too accustomed to too much sleep, guess what? In my opinion, you're going to miss out on a lot. Now, you may be wide awake when it comes to being part of something, but you're going to miss out on a lot. That's just my personal opinion, and I think that's why I, for years, have not, and I don't feel like I'm not sleeping enough. Other people have said I'm not sleeping enough. So 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Let me know what you are thinking this morning. Love to hear from you if you've got a comment about sleep. Do you sleep a lot? Do you sleep a little? What do you sleep? That is the question that is before us here this morning. Love to hear from you. 864-332-9355. Yeah. Well, someone just said, Texter said, I like sleep. I sleep a lot. Okay. There's not much good I want to be part of in the world. Well, okay. That is one answer. With sleep, you can be in your own little world. But have you bought into all the things that are necessary for sleep? The right pillow, the right comforter, the right sheets. Have you? 864-332-9355. Let me know what you're thinking. All right. If anybody's got another comment on that, I would love to hear from you. 864-332-9355. So, what else do we have going on here this morning? I did want to talk about today is I Want You to Be Happy Day. That's why I use the sleep, talking about sleep today, because I want you to be happy day. What is I Want You to Be Happy Day? It is March 3rd. And it encourages us to do something that makes others happy. It also asks us to see others' happiness from their point of view. Putting a smile on someone's face tends to put one on ours. Well, that is true. But seeing what makes other people happy and being able to accommodate some of that on a day like today is a good thing, Today is also National Pancake Day. We used to have an IHOP here. We do not have one now, but if we did, you could be eating free pancakes at IHOP. National Pancake Day raises money for charity. IHOP restaurants began National Pancake Day back in 2006. Since that day, they have raised close to $30 million for charities. People from around the country will once again celebrate enjoying free pancakes at IHOP restaurants. Guests are then asked to consider leaving a donation. So, unfortunately, we do not have we do not have an IHOP here, so we cannot participate. However, if you go to Greenville or some other places, yes, you can. Today is also National Anthem Day. Commemorates the day the United States adopted the Star-Spangled Banner as its national anthem. Written by Francis Scott Key, the Star-Spangled Banner became the national anthem in 1931. See, now, I would have thought that was longer than that. But it was 1931 was the day the national anthem was adopted. So there you go. Now, do I have any other topics here of importance that I wanted to talk about? And then I'm going to talk about a few events that I wanted to give you here. What else did I have? Oh, I talked about that. What else we got here, Penny? The end of the month. I don't know if I've actually talked about this or not, but the end of the month, the Palmetto Sportsman's Classic is going to be down at the fair, at the state fairgrounds in Columbia. And I highly think it is something that I am going to go down there and cover, because one of the things that they have down there, they have dog trials, dogs being able to jump through the water, retrieve things, this type of thing. That is going to be going on. Plus, the exhibit that they had at the fair for America 250 will be open. They're going to actually keep that exhibit that they had last fall. They're going to actually keep it there, and it will be open on certain occasions. So I am thinking about going down there and doing another story on that, bringing you live information right from the Palmetto Sportsman's Classic. That goes on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe. So looking at going down and covering that, I think that could be a cool event to go to. And plus with the dogs and everything could be very fascinating, but this is the place where they concentrate all the great stuff in our state. So if you are a sportsman of any type, you might consider putting that on your radar and going down to that. I think that would be pretty cool. And I think making sure that, particularly if you're with your kids and everything, going through that America 250 exhibit would be really an awesome thing to do as we keep getting closer and closer to celebrating the the birth of our nation. Do you know, down there at the Palmetto Sportsman Classic, they also have these huge aquariums that'll be filled with fish and all this kind of stuff to show. They'll have fishing for the kids. I mean, it just looks like it is a phenomenal exhibit, and I'm probably going to be exhaustipated after I've been there, but I think it could be a lot of fun to go to. So I'm looking forward to going to that. The other thing that I'm looking forward to going to is this, yes, right here, this Saturday down there at Delahau. They are having a day where all the students are going to be showing off their animals and all this type of thing. And I think I want to go see that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that because there is so much going on down there with this. This is the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture. They've got arenas. They're going to be showing all these animals and everything. What a deal. So if you can go down there, it starts March 6th. Some of it is at 5 o'clock. Most all the events are on March 7th. Dairy cattle, breeding goats, dairy goats, beef cattle. They're going to have exhibitors down there. They're going to have a swine show, an equine show. All of that is really starts on Saturday, anywhere from 9 o'clock on. So they've got all these arenas, and it says to bring your own chairs if you go. It is free to go, but what a deal. So if you'd like to put something on your calendar of something unique and different, if you don't, well, that's okay, because I'm pretty sure I'm going, and I've got some invitations to go look at some of the things that they are going to have there. And I think it's going to be very cool to see what the students down there are doing. All of this is student-driven, so I just am totally impressed with what they're doing. We're going to try to get some interviews set up on that so I can talk to some of the people there. So if you would like to go to it, that is down at Delahau. Also, down there at Delahau, they are going to have a plant sale coming up. That'll be April 1st through the 3rd. I do want to say to people, don't be planting too early, or you're going to be planting twice or thrice. We all know that we'd love to be able to do this, but don't be doing it. Don't be doing it. All right. So the plant sale is down there. And did you know that the Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport is the best small airport in North America, receiving 2 to 5 million passengers for the 4th year in a row? Airport Council's International North America Airport Service Quality Awards are based on passenger feedback. GSP also scored to the top in airport with the most dedicated staff in North America. Easiest airport journey in North America. I think that is true. I love the fact that when you fly into Greenville, you can get out of that airport, get to your car. If you're leaving, you park your car and you can get where you need to go relatively quickly. Most enjoyable airport in North America, cleanest airport in North America. So how about that? They got the honor of Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport is the best small airport in North America. I agree with it. And of course, you know, that original airport was built by Milliken. Still a lot of recognition for Roger Milliken and what he did for that airport and what he did for so many things in Greenville-Spartanburg. He really was a looking ahead, a forward thinker. Now, at the Y, they're doing something really cool this month. If you haven't joined the Y yet, I want to say, why not? But if you haven't and you'd like to give it a try, during the month of March, there is no joiner fee. So normally there's a fee to join, and then, of course, you just have your monthly fee. But during March, they'll pay zero joiner's fee if you bring a brand new children's book. This is pretty cool. So donate a brand new children's book to support our youth development programs, and we will waive the joiner's fee for your new YMCA membership. I also want to say a word about the Y. As far as when people look at cost, if you look at what you are getting at the Y, there is no better deal around. Look at all the programs. You'll never get bored. You don't like doing this? Well, you can switch over. They've got the sauna. They've got the swimming. They've got all these classes, the weight room. And by the way, have you checked out what they're doing at their Uptown Y? If you're looking for a quick in and out of the Y, this is the place to go. It is easy to get in. They've got all the machines and everything there. And then they will do small group training if you'd like that. It is just one of the easiest places to work with. But really, the Y has so many possibilities. Whether it's the Parkinson's program, they have the diabetes program. They have all these programs to help you because self-care is the new health care. And that certainly is the truth. So if you haven't checked out the Y, check out the Y. Take a brand new children's book over there. Get a no joiner fee. Join for a month. See what you think. And then I think when you really, and plus you get tours on how to use and help on how to use if you want to use the equipment. They'll train you on how to properly use the equipment. A lot of places there's no help. There's just no help. You just go in and you hope you're using it right. At the Y, they have people there that will show you how to use the equipment. If you have children, they have children care while you're using the machines or involved in classes or something. You can just drop them off there and they're well cared for. You don't have to worry about that. Now, you can't leave them for the whole day, but you can leave them for, I think it's up to 2 hours or something while you're working out. So check out the YMCA. Go over there, take a tour. You'll be glad you did. Let me tell you, it is amazing. And during this month, just get a free, nice, brand new children's book. Take it over there, and you will not pay a joiner fee. You'll have to pay the monthly fee. But again, they have all different levels depending on what your need is. So the more you read, the more things you know. The more you learn, the more places you'll go. Who said that? You know, Dr. Seuss, and that is the truth. So check out the YMCA. I also wanted to tell you about, although it's not close, meaning right down the street, like the YMCA, but they are doing, and the YMCA is getting ready to bring on all their programs. They may have, some of them may already be filling up for the summer or for spring breaks and this type of thing. So when you're hooked into the Y, let's just say this, you have all kinds of possibilities. And the biggest thing is they want you to be healthy. But what I was also going to say is over there at John De La Howe, which is over in McCormick, that's what I'm saying, it's not close, they're doing summer camps. Camps will feature hands-on activities in all 4 of their schools' pathways, which is cool if you have a child, particularly a child that is looking at going in this direction. Plant and animal systems, horticulture, agricultural mechanics, and environmental and natural resources. So they have a whole camp program coming up this year, and that's exciting, I think. Now, when we talk about plant sales, there'll be lots of plant sales coming up, and the spring horticultural plant sale at Piedmont Tech will be April 18th. That's a huge one. Prices start at $3 for that. That'll be all day or most of the day. I think that starts early, so you can check that one out. Also, the third annual Greenwood Duck and Jeep Jam, Saturday, April the 11th, from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Greenwood County Farmers Market. Now, that's pretty cool. It's 3 to 8. I think last year when they did this, it was early morning till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But that's going to be April the 11th, 3 to 8 p.m. So this event is special because it supports the South Carolina Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics and Special Olympics of South Carolina. There's going to be Jeeps galore, food vendors, activities for the whole family, live music, and we're going to let you in on a little secret. There's going to be the event of the year. This is the event of the year so far. So, they've got a big announcement on what the live performances are going to be. It doesn't matter if you have a Jeep. You can come on over for free entertainment. For those Jeep heads, get ready. And it's going to have a big, big time. So make sure you check that out. That is coming up. That's going to be huge. That is on April 11th, 3 to 8 p.m. If you'd like to get involved, make sure you check the Greenwood Sheriff's Department for more information. Yes. Okay. So what else? What else do we have? Okay. They're doing St. Patty's Day. Hey, they are having a St. Patty's Day parade down in Lexington this coming Sunday. Now, I am thinking about driving down for that because that looks pretty interesting, so I can report back on that. You know, I love getting out and doing all these festivals and checking all these things out. So I'm looking at doing that too. If the weather cooperates, we may be going to do that. It looks like a fun time down there in Lexington, checking all that out. And I did want to mention this because I think this is so cool. You know, I love watching on Facebook. I don't know whether you do, but we have bald eagles here on Lake Greenwood. And the bald eagle pair of Lake Greenwood, and then they've had baby Freedom, and they've had a little shake-up in the nest this year because, Lady Liberty is gone, and now there's a new one that has taken over the roost, so it's like real life. But anyways, a book has been written, a children's book has been written about the bald eagles. And it's retired school teacher Stuart Whitner Kennemore always dreamed of writing a children's book. And she did write one, and she's actually using the pictures that quite often you see on Facebook in her children's book. She calls it Royalty on the Lake. Written by Stewart, is live now for purchase on Amazon. It's a beautiful and true story about our local lake community eagle pair, Her Majesty and Liberty, raising baby Freedom last year. And then they used the pictures, the real life pictures that I guess Amber Gettings Klein took. So this is pretty cool. Now, they are going to be out at Break on the Lake on Sunday, March 8th from 3 to 5 for a book signing. And you'll also be able to buy the book if you want. So I think that would be pretty cool. I wanted to tell you about it. One of the things that I always enjoy seeing is seeing the new pictures for what's happening with the Eagles. So that's called Royalty on the Lake. You can go ahead and get it on Amazon if you'd like, or you can go out on Sunday and check that book out at Break on the Lake. So another cool story. Coming up on March 14th, they're having Pause and Play, Puppies and Yoga at the Humane Society. I don't know how much yoga they do, but they sure have a good time with the puppies. So there you go. That's another thing that's out at the Humane Society. By the way, have you seen that you can submit a picture to the Humane Society and maybe be included in the calendar that they're getting ready to do? Penny says that she thinks that she would be awesome on the cover, but we have not really discussed it more than that. But she thinks she should be on the cover. So if you have a pup and you want to make sure that they are remembered for all of 2020, I guess it would be 2027, make sure you get those pictures in. Check out the Humane Society's website. And one of the big things that we do every year here in Greenwood, we have the lake cleanup. So it's going to be held not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, March 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's a couple of hours. Participating groups are encouraged to enter a photo contest to win free prizes at the cleanup. Please remember to text 864-871. Excuse me, 6031, and include your name and location to enter the contest. This is about cleaning up one of our biggest assets, Lake Greenwood. And I think most people that are involved in the cleanup say they can't believe how trashy it can get in 1 year. So if you would like to get your children together, get out there, clean up the lake, it would be an awesome, awesome project. It is so important that we keep that lake clean, that we keep it cleaned up, and that people take responsibility to do it. And if you are sign up for it, they'll give you an area to clean up on. It's not only our side of the lake, it includes Lawrence. Lawrence has come together. They're working with us to try to make a massive cleanup. So you can find a location near you, whether it's Camp Fellowship, Break on the Lake, Buzzard's Roost is a new one, I think, Lake Greenwood State Park, River Fork Boat Ramp, and Harris Landing. All of these will be places that people will be starting out from. Then they will have a free lunch for those that participate after 11 o'clock at Break on the Lake. And Chick-fil-A will be there. They'll have pizza and Break on the Lake. And I think it's Pepsi from Greenville is going to be helping us out. So this is really a cool thing. So go ahead and sign up for that. You will be glad that you did. You'll be doing something good. And if you have children or grandchildren, great way to get them out there to understand what it takes to keep an area cleaned up. You know, that is one of the hardest things that we deal with, whether it's at the lake or in the city or in the county, is what a trashy place we can be. And it all starts with just picking it up, putting it in the right place, and not leaving it for somebody else to do. With that, I think I am going to say adieu. There was not a show this afternoon. However, tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be talking with former Congressman Jeff Duncan right here on WCRS Radio. After he retired from Congress, he got into the energy. That was always one of his big things, was energy, and he works with a couple of companies representing them in the energy field. So we're going to talk about that. He also was involved in getting a law passed about Iran back in, 2012. So I thought it might be interesting to get his take on what is happening with Iran now and how long it's taken when that was signed back in 2012 under then President Obama. If you ever want to go back and see any of the shows that we do right here on WCRS, do want to remind you all of them are on Facebook for 30 days. But within a couple of days, we put them right there on our website, WCRS 1450 AM. And you can go back and look at any of them at any time. So please check them out, WCRS1450am.net. They actually are part of our YouTube site, but it was easiest to go right from our website to get there. Then you can peruse all the shows that I've done for a long time. You know, this talk I'm doing tomorrow makes you realize how long you've been doing this, Ann Eller. And how did she become the voice of Greenwood? That is a question. Anyways, I am Ann Eller, the voice of Greenwood. I am going to say adieu. Thanks so much for tuning in this morning. Penny's looking at me going, it's about time. You've got an appointment coming very soon, and I need to get outside and go run. So, goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in right here on WCRS Radio. Be back tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, join me with Jeff Duncan. Take it away. Cue the music.